Hi, and welcome to some hip mobility exercises. This will only take 15 minutes, and all you need is a ball and a towel. So grab your ball, you're going to place it under your hip, you're going to find that bony hip bone to the side, and just place it just inside that. And then you're just going to window wiper your knee in and out. We're going to just do about 10 times on each side, so you should be finding a place that's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's not making your leg go numb. It's not more than a 4 out of 10 of pain. And you shouldn't be right on bone. You should be in kind of the meaty flesh of your muscle. So again, find your hip bone, place the ball just inside of it, and then start to lean back with just as much pressure as you can tolerate. And you're going to shift your weight over and back, nice and slow, bringing that knee in and out, just starting to open things up. When you've done your 10, place the ball to the side. You won't need that. Now you're going to grab your towel. There's going to be 2 ways to do this. So the first way, you can hook the towel over your ankle or your knee. So I'm going to show you with the ankle for the first one. So what I'm doing here is I'm pushing my knee straight for 10 seconds and then I'm relaxing it. So you're going to push your knee and push your foot into the towel, straighten that knee, and then relax. So as you're pushing into the towel with your leg, you should feel a stretch along the back side of your leg. So that's your hamstrings. So you're going to just do 3, and then you're going to switch over to the other side. So this time I'm going to show what it looks like with the towel around your knee. So if this is more comfortable, do this position, but you still want to try and straighten the knee into the towel. So you're straightening that knee, stretching the back of the leg. And you're going to notice for most of these things, we're going to do them each 3 times. This is going to keep us right on that 15-minute mark and keep you nice and motivated throughout the whole thing. So nothing for too long here. We're going to next move into opening up the front of your hip with a hip flexor stretch. So you're going to start with your hip stacked right over top of your knee. You're going to lean forward. So if you notice here, I'm not arching my low back. I'm keeping my trunk or my torso right over top of my hips and leaning my entire body weight forward. So I have my arm up in the air to kind of enhance the stretch, feel it a little bit deeper. You don't have to do that if that feels like too much. So you're easing into it and then easing back out. So nice and slow, shifting your hips forward, feeling the stretch along the front of your thigh on the knee that's down. Good, so you're going to do 3 of those, and then we're going to go into a wide child's pose. So your knees are going to be wider than hip width if you can, and you're going to shift your weight backwards, but also over towards one heel, and then come back up, and then you're going to shift over towards the other heel. So you can start to walk your hands to the side and look to the side you're going to if that feels good. And don't force it. All of these, you shouldn't feel a stretch more than a 4 out of 10. So we're just waking things up, moving side to side, starting to get some dynamic mobility into your hips. So we don't want to just do static stretches. We want to really work on gaining control throughout the hip movements as we open them up. Good, nice and slow, keeping your back nice and flat as you do this, so my back isn't arching up or down. Then we're going to take the towel again. You can fold it into a nice little cushion. You're going to put it to the side. You may or may not need this. So this is 90-90 through your hips into what we call mermaid in Pilates. So your front hip is going to come straight out from your leg, and then your other knee is going to go out to the side. So you're at 90 degrees with the front leg, 90 degrees with the back leg. You're going to slowly take your hand, put it in a C shape, go forward and back with that front hip or that back hip 3 times. And then you're going up and over into mermaid. So you're lifting up through the trunk first and then bending over, reaching to the side. So the trick here is to keep both of your sit bones down on the ground. So you'll notice under my right hip, there's a towel, so that's because I'm on a little bit of a slant. So that right hip bone was raised up. So all you have to do is take that towel that you were using earlier, roll it up, pop it under that hip. And again, we're just gonna rock back and forth 3 times, keeping both the sit bones on the ground the entire time. And then you're gonna reach up and you're gonna lean forwards. So when you're in this position, you might feel a bit of a pinch in the front of your hip. You can ease off a bit here, don't go quite so deep, or you can start to think about really relaxing through the front of that hip. That should help as well. Okay, we're gonna switch to the other side. I'm gonna take the towel out to start. Bring my knees back into that 90 and 90 position. So got the towel under one hip and start to rock, take that C shape forward and back. And you can adjust the towel as you need, so if I need a little more on the other side to even things out, that's okay. And again, really just rocking that hip, rolling the femur in the socket. So for this one, you're rolling that femur forward and back. And you're gonna reach up and go over into mermaid. And just what we did on the other side, reach up tall first, and like you're bending over a barrel sideways. So you notice that I took the towel out here. That's just because once I did that initial hip release, my hips started to feel way better and they were both on the ground, so I didn't need the towel there. That actually would have made me uneven. So you just have to pay attention to your hips, pay attention to your body. Just make sure both sit bones are on the ground. Good, nice and steady. Reach up, fold forward. Again, let the front of those hips release, let it relax. Start to breathe into the front of the hips. And then you're going to walk your hands back up. So come on to all fours here. You're going to go into downward dog, so you're going to stretch your tailbone up towards the ceiling, and we're going to go into world's greatest stretch. So one leg steps up to the outside of your hand, that same hand reaches up in the air, step back into high plank and switch. We're not holding this, we're just moving through it. Stepping nice and wide to the outside of the hand, and then really watch the hand that's opening up with your gaze. It's going to help open up your upper back as well. So this is a dual action. You're getting a little hip opening and a little bit of upper back opening. Good. I think this is your last one. Yep, so pedal it out into down dog. Let the calves relax, let the hips relax, send those hips up towards the ceiling. You're going to stretch one leg up, reach it up so that your knee is up near your hand and your foot is across near the other elbow. So we're going into what looks like pigeon. So you'll have seen this in yoga before. What I want you to do here is just adjust that angle of the foot. So if your foot's closer to you or further away from you, you're going to feel a bit of a different stretch. And then you're going to shift your weight side to side, nice and easy. So you're starting to roll over that femur. When you've done your 3, you're going to step back up, pedal out the feet. Then you're going to do the other side. So kicking that left leg up in the air, bringing that left knee to left hand, left foot to right hand or right elbow. And then you can either stay high here or you can walk yourself down onto your elbows. And you're just going to again rock from side to side. So just shift your weight side to side. You can be on your elbows or you can be up on your hands. Whatever is giving you a stretch but is also still comfortable. Good job. Good, and then walk your hands back, kick your feet back, and you can either go into downward dog or we're going to take a little bit of a spinal decompression just with some cat-cow. So angry cat up, cow looking forward, let your back sag, nice and slow and controlled. Okay, we're going to move into some standing work. So you're going to step your hips wider than hip width apart. We're going to go into that lateral lunge. So you're going to take a look at your feet. You're going to make sure your big toe and your pinky toe are both staying planted on the ground the whole time. Shift your weight over to the side, and then you're going to lean forwards and back, shifting your weight to the front of the foot and the back of the foot. So You're gonna really feel this start to open up the inner thighs here. If you feel some pops, as long as it doesn't hurt, don't worry about it. All of our hips pop and crack. It's nothing to be concerned about. Nice and easy. Forward and back. So again, you're doing about 3 rocks forward and back, and then over to the other side. We're going to do this 3 times all together. And to make it a little bit more difficult, you can see on this one we're going to stay low when we shift from side to side instead of coming up. That's just one option as you start to get more mobility through those hips. Just to control it and stay nice and low, you're going to get a bit of a deeper stretch throughout the whole exercise then. Good, nice and slow and controlled. Good. Coming back to the center, we're going to walk yourself down into a high plank. We're going to do a sprawl, so it looks like we're ready to stretch, but then you step the other leg up to meet it, and then you're doing from a deep squat all the way up. So as you step into that squat, bring your chest proud, use your glutes or your bum muscles to help propel you up, and if you can, alternate feet so that one time you step forward with the right first, the second time you step forward with the left first. When you've done your 3, you're going to lay on your back, and we're going to set up for a modified glute bridge with a bit of a hip opener. So this is the figure 4 stretch you would have seen typically. We're going to do a modification of that. So start off by laying fingertips touching your heels, knees bent. You're going to cross one ankle over the other knee, and you're going to gently push that knee away from you and feel that stretch. And you're going to do 3 glute bridges or hip lifts here. So as you go up, that knee's coming down towards the ground, and then you're going to switch to the other side. So ankle over across your knee. Good job. Push that knee away slightly. Start to squeeze your glutes. Push down with your hands to give you a bit more support. Nice and slow up, nice and slow down. So this isn't a hip roll like we do in Pilates where you go up one vertebrae at a time. It's just everything up, everything down. Good. When you've done your 3, you can sit straight up or you can swivel, and you're going to just window wiper your knees. So you're going to lean back onto your hands. Feet are going to go wider than your hips. And you're just going to rock back and forth. Nice and easy. So we're going to do 3 on each side, so 6 all together. Again, keeping both sit bones down, thinking of your femur rotating in that socket. So your hips or your trunk is staying pretty much still. It's just that femur rotating. Okay, we are almost done. We're going to lay back down. Use that towel as a pillow if you need. So we're going to start with some hip rocks. So you're going to do some pelvic tilts forward and back. So you're thinking of bringing your pubic bone up towards your face and then bringing it away. Okay, so we've got our hang loose signs. You're going to bring your thumb to your rib cage, your bottom ribs, and your pinky is going to be on your hips. That's going to give you a little bit of a sense of core control as you do this. So as you lift that leg and start to circle into your hip circles, you're going to just keep the core on. So those hang loose signs are giving you an idea. If they start to move or you feel the space change between your pinky and your thumb, that means that you're lifting your ribs up and you're not using enough abdominal control through this movement. So that's when you're going to start to do the hips or the leg circles a little bit smaller. So they're not going to be quite as big in size. But if you feel comfortable, you're just thinking about drawing a circle with those toes. Nice and slow and controlled. Again, the trunk isn't moving, the femur is rolling, or the thigh bone is rolling in that hip socket. So you're going to do 3 one direction, 3 the other direction. Good. And if you can, try to keep your knees a little straighter than mine. Okay, so we're moving into our last couple poses. We're going into happy baby. You can grab the outside of your feet, and you're just going to bring your knees towards your elbows wherever is comfortable. You can grab your shins if grabbing your feet isn't accessible today. and you're just gonna rock side to side, massage out the low back, and that is it.